I'm your host, Josie Van Dyke, and I am sitting next to Chelsey Curtis, everybody.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
You just told me your middle name is not actually Jade.
It's not.
Because I was like, do you want to be Chelsey Jade? And you said that's a made-up name.
Yeah, I can. I'll be anyone you want me to be.
What made you choose Jade as your fake middle name?
Well, years ago, I went by the name Jade. I just changed it myself for music, like when I was pursuing music, and made up like a little stage name.
Okay.
So then when I got married, I was like, okay, I want to be Chelsey again, like on social media, and just in general. Like people genuinely called me Jade. Like when I lived in Utah and was doing music, like some of my friends that I had met there, they would call me Jade, and my family and my friends would be like, what? That's not your name.
That's not your name.
Yeah.
No, people in the question box were like, did she legally change her name to Jade?
Yeah.
And I was like, what? But now that makes sense.
Not,
that question makes sense now.
Yeah.
Which
I don't even have a middle name, so.
They just gave you a full name. That was it. No middle.
Yeah, just the girls in my family, it's just like the first name, last name, so that when you get married, you can like keep your last name as your middle name.
Very traditional.
Like Kim Kardashian West vibes, you know? Which now that I'm older is a vibe. Like I like that. And I love my last name. Like I actually was so sad to get rid of it. But,
yeah, what was your maiden last name?
Gustafson.
Gustafson?
Gustafson.
Gustafson.
Gustafson. It's like a gust of wind, but a gust of sin.
Gust of sin. Oh, I love that.
It's like a little Swedish.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Gustafson. I've never heard that last name in my life.
I know. That's why I loved it.
That's so cool.
Like growing up in Gilbert, Arizona, like having that last name, I was like, no one else has this last name.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. Well, we need to talk all about you. We need to do dumpster deep dive. We need to talk about Arizona. We need to talk about music. We need to talk about labor. We need to talk about all the things.
I'm ready. I'm an
let's do
open
a dumpster deep dive. Chelsey, where are you from? Today's dumpster deep dive is brought to you by Thread. Let's dive into practical style with Thread. They've given the classic leather wallet a sleek update, focusing on simplicity and embracing the mission to carry on. Thread is your go-to for all things carry and self-expression. Now, let me share why I'm hooked on Thread's essentials, like the vertical wallet, wrist lanyard, lip balm holder. There is nothing worse than digging through your bag full of random stuff, so I cut out the chaos with Thread. The vertical wallet is my go-to solution, and the wrist lanyard and lip balm holder make everything I need just one reach away, simplifying my life and keeping me organized. And as a mom, I need that. So check out the entire collection, including these must-haves, at threadwallets.com, where functionality seamlessly meets fashion with Thread. Use code WEEKLYTRASH for 20% off your purchase. And thanks, Thread, for sponsoring today's episode. Today's Dumpster Deep Dive is brought to you by Spearmint Love. Spearmint Love is an online baby and kids store with so many products between footies, rompers, knit hats, pacifiers, graphic tees, and quite literally any other baby essential. It is my go-to website for getting all the goods for my kids. They also have big kid stuff too, so you can do matching outfits between your babies and your kiddos. I love getting stuff for special holidays, whether it's Valentine's, Christmas, Halloween, Easter, really any special occasion, Spearmint Love is where I go. It has a fresh and modern take on the baby space while also carrying all the baby classics that you know and love. And they're also known for their best-selling organic waffle collection that Banks wears 24/7. The prints are always so unique and so fun, and the quality is incredible and also comfortable. And the shipping is extremely fast. So if you are looking for some new baby essentials or kiddo essentials, whether it's clothes or products, you have to go to experimentlove.com and use code WEEKLYTRASH for an exclusive 25% off for podcast listeners only. Again, that's WEEKLYTRASH at experimentlove.com.
I'm from Gilbert, Arizona.
Born and raised?
I was born in California. My family's like kind of from Northern California, but we moved. My mom's family's from, have you ever heard of Snowflake, Arizona?
Yes, I had someone on the podcast just barely that had family in Snowflake.
Really?
Who was it? Were you listening? And I was like, huh? Snowflake?
Really?
That's a
They
place?
lived in Utah?
Yeah, they lived in Utah, but they had family in
interesting.
Snowflake.
It's weird. JC's family's from Snowflake as well. Like it's it's tiny.
Yeah.
But it's weirdly like a breeding ground for people to just move out and I don't know.
It's the cutest little name, Snowflake.
It is cute.
Does it snow?
Yes, it snows.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it was founded by someone with the last name Snow and the last name Flake.
And
you know
they
Jeff
just-
Flake, like
No,
the
I
politician. I don't
No.
even know if he's still a politician. But
I'm like, I don't know anything about politicians.
His
I know
family.
Romney, Trump and Biden. That's about it.
Slay.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris, but
Yeah.
I couldn't pronounce her last or her full name for a long time. It was hard for me. But you have how many siblings?
There's 6 of us.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was that
5.
many.
5 siblings.
Where are
6
you in
of
the
us.
lineup?
I'm smack in the middle. Can't you tell by my need for attention?
You're just
Yeah.
somebody validate me.
Yeah.
Validate
Can't you tell by my
me.
career choices?
No,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I'm in the middle.
Child.
I'm oldest girl, so there's 2 boys, 2 girls, 2 boys.
Okay. And are you guys all close?
Yeah, very close. Mm-hmm.
Do any of them live near you right now?
Yeah, my sister does.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Abby.
Yeah.
That's super fun.
She lives close to me.
That's nice.
It's nice. We're like little pairs, like 2 boys, best pals, 2 girls, best pals, then 2 boys.
Oh, that works out really nice.
I know.
Were you raised in like a strict home?
You know, that's a good question because I would used to say in comparison to others when I was younger, I was like, we're like in the middle.
Okay.
Like I grew up Mormon and very like the classic like rules, you know, of like no swimming on Sunday, no friends on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like we could play computer games and like watch like G-rated movies.
For sure.
But it wasn't like, I don't know, we can't watch SpongeBob kind of thing. You know?
Oh, okay. Were you allowed to have sleepovers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we were like in the middle.
You're in the middle.
And I had a lot of non-Mormon friends in elementary school and junior high. Like there's tons of Mormons in Gilbert.
Yes.
Obviously.
It's basically Utah.
Yeah. And I didn't really like all of my friends were Mormon in high school, but growing up, I genuinely was like, oh, I'm like this weird like
the Mormon
special
girl. Yeah.
like thing. Like that no one else understands. But I was like fine with that, I guess. So what was the question?
The question was, you were born strict.
Oh,
you were born into a strict home.
So, like, compared to my non-Mormon friends, I was like, yeah, it's weird that we can't play on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, you're coming over to my house, and I have to say I can't play.
Yeah.
But, and then there were certain things I feel like being in the middle, I wasn't as treated as strictly as my older brothers
they didn't pay
were
attention
in some
to
ways.
you.
But being the girls, like, me and my sister definitely had more rules than my brothers, which I hated growing up. Like, I kind of get now.
Did you guys have like different curfew times?
No, but they were enforced differently. Like mine were more serious, I feel like. Because which I hindsight, like at the time, it like infuriated me. I feel like I've always had this complex of like treat me the same as the boys. Yeah. But then when you think about like, your daughter being out possibly with a boy late at night, of course it's a little scary.
Yeah. There wasn't Find My Friends back then.
No. Oh my gosh.
Which, like, thank God.
Thank goodness.
Because my parents would find me not with my friends.
Oh, no. My parents would be, like, waiting by the door if I was, like, a minute late.
Yeah.
Or if I was, like, sitting in the car, like, I was home by 11, but I was still in the car with a boy, like, talking. My mom would come out and be like, get your ass inside. Well, she wouldn't say ass, but
she'd be like, get inside. Get your bum.
In her PJs, yeah.
Get your bum inside.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So were you a good kid because of that, or were you a little rebellious?
I was a good kid.
Yeah?
Yeah. Kind of. Like, I didn't do anything crazy.
Nothing
I felt
crazy?
like I was... I've said this before, but I always felt very wholesome on the inside.
Yeah.
So I like to portray myself. Like, I loved when people thought I was bad. Like, I loved when if people thought, maybe it's because I had friends who were like non-Mormon growing up. And then I liked feeling like I was the less Mormon one of everyone.
Gotcha.
Like I was the cool Mormon.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you drink in high school?
No.
No.
But I would love if people thought that I was like having sex and drinking. Like I was like, yeah, you think that, but I'm not.
But I'm actually perfect.
Exactly.
I'm a perfect little angel.
Exactly. I mean, I wasn't perfect, but
a little bit. You are also extremely talented in music.
Oh,
Were you that way your whole life? Like, did you grow up taking like lessons and stuff?
I did grow up taking like piano lessons. My mom's really good, like, you know, piano. She's a really good singer, very theatrical. So I did grow up doing that, but I don't want to say I was like growing up this prodigy by any means. Like I was always in choir, but like never getting solos, danced, never in the front.
Rude.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
You're like, I was meant for this.
Yeah.
Like, give it to me.
Exactly.
Give it to me.
So,
but you tried to pursue it though.
Yeah. After I graduated, I started posting on YouTube, and I feel like my voice is like different than like a choir voice.
Oh yeah.
So I wasn't appreciated fully in like high school and stuff when I was in choir or like did church. I would like sing with my sister and my mom and stuff like that, but I didn't have like a big belting like hit every note voice.
Yeah, you weren't Adele.
No, definitely not. Not even close. Still not. But after I graduated, that's like when what do they call it? Like the indie style came in, and I'm like,
the hipsters,
this is my
indie music.
Yeah, this is me.
Because you play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So you play guitar and piano. Do you play anything else?
No.
Just guitar and piano?
Yeah, and I barely play those. Like barely.
Okay, well, the fact that you even know notes or anything.
Yeah, that's the bare minimum. I know notes.
Like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know notes. Like, what are notes? Notes
I know.
are A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah,
Are those notes?
exactly.
I don't know.
I know.
So did you ever want to do like American Idol or any of that?
I did try out for The Voice a couple times.
Really?
Like so when I was doing music in Utah, I like worked with a manager.
Okay.
Who, hindsight, I was like this 18, 19-year-old just scooting around town with this like manager who was like mid-30s, maybe 40.
Okay.
This guy, like nothing nefarious happened.
Yeah.
But
just a little
in
strange.
hindsight, I'm like, okay, maybe like if my parents knew that he was just like driving me around town, like we're going on road trips to like do these
your
like
pimp.
shows. Yeah. Like at the time I was like, he's so generous. Like he's so nice. But yeah, anyway, so when I was working with him, he would get me like gigs and he would get me shows, and like he was gonna fly me out to this producer in Nashville.
Was he paying for it? Like, what was the situation money-wise?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
He was like, you don't have to pay me.
Okay, you're
I'll
like,
just take
great.
like a percentage, but did I get paid for anything ever? No. But
No.
also I was not like playing big stadiums where I was like rocking it in.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, so he got me like these personalized auditions with The Voice. Never made it. Tried twice, I think. Like drove out to LA, like
with the
had
chairs,
an appointment.
or was it like more like
No, not
the
with
audition
the chairs.
for the audition?
Yes, the audition for the audition.
Okay.
I would go and they'd be like, keep trying. Okay.
Ew. Is it because you didn't have like a cool like sob story?
Maybe they didn't ask.
Because you have to have a storyline. It's reality television.
True. That's true.
You need to build yourself a story. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the middle child. Nobody ever paid attention to me.
Yeah.
I really needed this career for my confidence.
I grew up in an upper middle class, or not upper middle class,
Like,
lower middle class, like
in
the most basic story.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loving parents, no tragedies.
Yeah, please give it to me.
Perfect health.
Perfect. Everyone's healthy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I found love exactly when I
like,
wanted to. Yeah.
all the things. But like, please, could let me on.
Yeah,
let
trying
me
to
on.
dig for anything. No, didn't make it.
So did you just completely stop? Because you haven't posted a singing video
Yeah.
since like 2018 or
know.
something.
I know. I just stopped. I just didn't really care anymore, honestly.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is not for like what's gonna happen. Like literally gave up on my dreams. I wrote an album. This is like the best, most motivating story for all of you guys out there. Okay. So I wrote an album. Like I wrote like 7 songs. And this was when I was engaged, I think.
Okay.
So that's the time, like, they were all, like, love songs. Me and Nick had been through this, like, breakup, and we got back together. And, like, I had all of these emotional songs. Thought they were great. I sent them to this producer in Nashville who wanted to make an album for me. I had, like, I was on featured on one of his albums for, like, some weird thing. But he was like, write some songs, send them to me. I sent them to him. He was like, keep writing. Like, those aren't very good. And I just gave up on music.
That is so motivating. Oh my gosh.
So if you get a no, just give up.
Just know when to end.
Yeah, just sometimes it does take courage to just give up.
Give up.
Yeah.
Do you wish you didn't though?
No.
No? Like you're content with your decision to say, okay.
Yeah, it's like, what was I gonna do, I guess? Like,
yeah,
become a famous musician?
No.
Probably not. And
Yeah.
also if I was, like, I don't know, I just like my life now. So
No, your life seems great.
yeah.
The songs probably were good though. I'm sure they were good, Chelsey.
Maybe. I haven't listened to them. It's a little triggering.
Is it?
Maybe.
wanna hear
I don't
one.
even know where to find
I want to
them,
hear one. Oh,
honestly.
you don't?
Yeah. They're probably somewhere on my old laptop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever
Stay
find
tuned
them,
for my
like,
album.
send me
My
one.
EP.
No, you should release it just cause.
Just cause.
No,
yeah.
you really should. Or like you should write a song about podcasting and make it like your theme song for when you come out on tour.
Love that.
For
I
the
know
second
people
time?
always ask us to sing on tour.
Yeah, you guys should.
No. How do we do that? That's
The
like
What
the
We Said
weirdest
band.
transition. Like singing, come out, sing a song, and then start talking about like the dumbest stuff.
No, you end the show with the song. You're like, okay, guys, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
now we're going to end with a song.
Yeah, can
And
you
then
bring my
pull-
guitar?
Yeah, you pull out the guitar,
Yeah.
the bedazzled
That's
microphones.
giving like that. That's just giving guy at like a party who like always has a guitar. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's icky, but I think it's nice. I think you should do it. I would pay to watch it for sure. Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Let's talk about you meeting Nick.
Yeah.
Because someone in the question box said that you followed him to California.
Yeah.
Please explain this story to me.
Well, I didn't like follow him to California in a sense. Like
they used the word stalk.
Stalk?
They're like she stalked him to California.
Kind of. I guess a little bit, but I was like very determined. So we had been dating.
Yeah. You know what you want.
And he was like in love with me. Like obsessed with me, which was very off-putting to me. Like, and I had a missionary that I was like, we're gonna get married.
Was your missionary
right
your first boyfriend? Like first real relationship?
I guess. I mean, I've had boyfriends since I was like 6th grade, but like
same.
Didn't start talking to them till high school. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had been dating for like 2 years, and then he left on his mission, and we're for sure like had the promise ring.
You
but
had
also,
the promise ring?
Yeah, but also wasn't like I'm not gonna date.
Okay.
Like we kind of had this like I'm gonna date, but like that'll be hurtful if you date, kind of. You know, it's like I've got to.
Like I'm not really gonna tell you about it, but it's gonna happen.
Exactly. So he went on his mission, and I started doing music. I moved out to California myself to live with my grandparents. I just like wanted to get out and start doing stuff. So went to like a year of college. Half in Arizona, half in Utah. Just was doing my own thing. And when I was back in Arizona for a summer, I met Nick at like this party. And he actually went to the same high school as me. Like we went to the same high school. He's just a couple years older.
Okay.
So I knew who he was. Like he was like a hot guy that like I knew because he's 2 years older than me. My brother's that age, my older brother. So like I knew who he was. And he was also Mormon, grew up in literally a neighborhood like 2 seconds away from me.
So same background.
Yeah, but never talked. Like never crossed paths or anything like that. Met him at a party, and like he got my number and I was just like shocked because he was like the hot guy from high school, and I was like, what is he doing talking to me? And I also, when I was dating at that point, because I had a missionary, I felt like half loyal and half like, okay, I want to have fun, and like I am boy crazy girl, so like
for sure
I'm gonna be, you know, looking at my options.
Yeah, I'm gonna kiss some frogs.
But also it was like kind of like, but nothing's gonna work out because of my missionary. So when I met him, we hung out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is different than like anyone I've ever dated. We get along so well. We clicked. Like, this is terrifying. And yeah, we dated for like a couple months, and he was so nice to me. Like,
did your missionary know?
I don't know when he knew.
Okay, you didn't tell him right away.
I didn't tell him right away.
Okay.
But I think I told him like once because I wrote him off. Like once we started dating for a couple months, because I was like, I can't be like.
You're like, dear John.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Dear John. Told him. But then after that, like, so I had written my missionary off, and I was dating Nick, but he lived in Idaho, I lived in Utah, and I was just like, honestly, I don't want to be in a serious relationship right now. I think you like me more than I like you. Like, I just can't get there yet. Like, I'm not ready to like get married.
Yeah, this is a dagger to his heart.
He told me, this is so bad. He told me he loved me. Like, we'd been dating for a couple months, and he told me he loved me. And I couldn't say it back. And I was just like, oh no. Like, so I broke up with him the next day.
Poor guy.
I know. I know. It's
had a happy
actually
ending
so
though,
bad. I know. And I felt like, I'm not going to lie, like right after I felt very relieved. I was like, okay, this is like, I was supposed to do this.
Yeah.
Like, he lives in a different state. He's going to college. I'm going to college. It was the beginning of the semester. So went about my life, dated other guys, like just never felt the way that I felt about him. And so, but to me, it was kind of like, oh, this guy who was obsessed with me, I broke up with him, like never thought that I would think of him again, honestly. I was just like, whatever. But then turns out I just kept thinking about him, was like, nothing's comparing. I think I am in love with him. I think I need to marry him. Like, I think this is the one. And when I make up my mind about something, like, I have to have it. Like, I will do whatever it takes to, hence the stalking to California.
Gotcha.
So he lived there. So I took my sister, and we drove to California. He was working there, and he had offered me like a place to stay. He's like, if you want to come to San Diego, like, come hang out for a weekend or something. We'd like kind of started talking.
Where was he going to
again.
college? UCLA?
No, he was selling.
Oh,
doing
okay,
summer
okay,
sales. Yeah,
okay.
he went to BYU Idaho, and then he did sales.
Okay,
in the
so
summer.
BYU Idaho, UCLA, literally the same thing.
Yeah, same thing, same vibe, same. Yeah,
same,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I drove out to him. And basically, was like, "Please take me back. I love you." And he was like, "I'm kind of talking to someone else, but like we can kiss." And I kissed him.
And he was like, "Game over."
I was like, "Really?" Like, he's like, "I'm kind of talking to someone who like we're not dating, but I guess she like lived in Arizona, and they were like, oh, maybe when I move home, we'll try things out."
Yeah.
But like, I knew, I'm like, we're in love. Like, we're soulmates.
Yeah.
We're meant to be. Like,
twin flames.
the way that he was with me when we dated, like, there's just nothing like this. And I just am obsessed with him now. So it's like, I thought I missed the boat a little bit. I was like, great. You know when that happens? Like, some guy likes you and then you miss
the timing's never right.
So I was like, please, please, please. Yeah. And so he was like, I mean, you really like wrecked me for like months. I was super sad about you. And like, you broke my heart and I couldn't even date. And I was just like, I'm so sorry, but like, I'm here.
Like,
I'm here now.
I'm giving you me.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's like, yeah. And then that's when he's like, but like, I would love to kiss you. I'm like, okay. So we kissed.
And then it's game over at that point.
And then after that, yeah, it actually took like a month or two.
Really?
Of me trying to like still stay in contact. And he was like, maybe.
Oh, he was.
But then he moved back and like 2 days later, he's like, okay, yeah.
So when you guys officially were like, okay, we love each other.
Yeah.
When did you decide you want to get married?
So we got back together in like September maybe. And then we got engaged in December.
Okay.
So like overall, we had known each other for like a year and a half. But dating probably like 8-9 months before we got engaged.
And then did you get married in the temple?
Yeah.
You did? What temple?
Mm-hmm. The Gilbert one.
The Gilbert?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw a picture of your wedding dress. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
It was. You guys were very like, not hipster, like but you boho vibe.
We were 2016 boho vibe.
Loved.
Sure.
It was so pretty.
Thank you.
You obviously you don't talk about religion a ton.
Yeah.
But that was a question everyone wanted to know, like where you stand with it because you were raised LDS, you got married in the temple.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell people where you're at?
Yes. Well, so I was talking to you earlier about this because I was saying like, I think it was like 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, I had like, people were asking me nonstop. And we had like talked about it a little bit on the podcast, like updates, I guess, on like where we were. But I just was going through it. Like I was going through all of the thoughts, the overthinking, the like deconstructing in therapy, all that stuff. And I just didn't like, my thoughts just changed every day. So I was just like, I'm not going to like say one thing on the internet where it's forever and then a week later try and like backtrack or like justify what I'm doing at any means. Like I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what I want to be doing.
You're working through it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And also I've always been like a very spiritual person.
Same.
In terms of like, I don't know, I've never been really into this like, this is gonna sound kind of like pick me, but like the perception of like I was saying, like I didn't care if people thought I was like a bad Mormon. Like I was just like, I don't care. Like I know I know I'm a good person. I know this about me. So like I don't care if you think that I don't go to church. I don't care if you think that I'm like some naughty Mormon, whatever.
Yeah.
But so I guess when I was like deconstructing, I was trying to find honestly like words to go. I'm like, I don't even know how to explain what I'm going through. Like this is just all happening in my brain and it doesn't feel like words that I can speak. So I'm not going to, first of all, say things that I don't mean maybe.
That could change.
Exactly, that could change. I don't want to offend anyone on any side because again, I'm not like for sure about what I'm thinking. So I'm not like ready to like go to bat for it.
Yeah.
Either way. So, and also I just have like so many family members and like friends and just people that are also still very in the church. So it's just not who like I know listen to like the podcast and see my stuff. And I'm just like, they also don't need to know necessarily every little thought that goes on in my head about it. And I don't feel like it's like going to be helpful for me at this point.
Yeah.
Like maybe at some point it will be, but like at this point, it's not very helpful for me to be like answering questions about it on my Instagram Q&A.
Yeah,
like,
and everyone's...
What do you think happens to you after you die? Like, do you think families are really forever? Like, what about God? You know, it's like, That's very heavy, and that's something that I take very seriously, and like that
Yeah.
I, you know, have my own beliefs about. But even then, sometimes I'm like, I don't know how to voice what I believe. Like, I don't necessarily even have words for some of it. It's just like,
Yeah.
maybe that's confusing and doesn't make any sense, but
No, it makes sense to me. Like when you said, I hope this doesn't sound pick me, I'm like, well, I guess I'm pick me because I'm
Yeah.
like in the same boat.
yeah,
Like 1,000%.
Yeah.
Is Nick in the same boat as you?
kind of. He's like, I was listening to you on Tyson's podcast
Yeah.
today, and I relate very much to what
Yeah.
you're saying. Like, me personally, it's more about like the spirituality of it, where it's like, I'm trying to figure out what God means to me. And like, I've always kind of felt, like, I can relate to other people who are also spiritual who are not Mormon. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I get what you're saying. We call
Mhm.
it this, but like, you call it this. And so, you know, what I had to figure out was like, what is the church actually versus, it's like you were saying, like
Yes.
organized religion. I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
into that. Like, that seems like a business. I'm like that in every way. Like, I'm always
Yep.
just like, if it's a business, if it's making money,
It
it
there's a
doesn't relate
hidden
to my
agenda.
spirituality.
Yeah.
Like, my spirituality has nothing to do with like making money and like having marketing and like things like that. So I had to take a hard look at that. And that's kind of what was hard for me, is like growing up, I didn't think about that. I didn't have to think about that. And then growing up, sorry, I'm always out of breath because
No, you're
this
pregnant.
baby's literally
You're
crushing
pregnant.
my ribs.
I'm so
and my
sorry.
lungs.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. And Nick he's always been like, when I met him, I kind of liked this aspect of him that was like, I felt like I was way more like strict than he was.
Yeah.
And he would always make me feel very like non-judged, critical, just was always very cool about all of it. And I was like, I love that. Like, I'm so drawn to that about you. Like,
Yeah.
not that he was a bad boy, but he just didn't care about the rules. Like, he would, you know, I won't spill all of his business, but he was not like a, you know, goody
Yeah.
two shoes, like I was kind of.
Yeah.
So we've kind of like always related on that, where it's like the spirituality of it. But he also is he's just a boy. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like he just doesn't like overthink things as much as
How
me.
would that be?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I'll ask my husband, I'll be like, so if like
Like,
what do
what
you
about
think about
this?
this?
Yeah.
And he'll be like, I don't know, it'll all work out. And
Yeah.
I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, I want to have an
Mhm.
in-depth conversation about this. And he's like, it really is not, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine.
I know. That's how he is. He's so like, which I need, because
Same.
I can't have someone else like, I am so questioning everything. That's how I am with everything, even pregnancy. Every 5 seconds, I'm like, can you feel this? Is this his foot or his head? Like,
Yeah.
does he breach right now?
Google.
Is this? Yeah. And I need somebody who's not going to give in to my just searching for like
Yeah, the
reassurance all the
stress.
time. Yeah. And so it's really nice to have him be like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, these things that you think are a really big deal are not, and you don't have to figure it all out right now. Like,
Yep.
he doesn't ever like make me feel
Dismiss
like,
your feelings.
Yeah, he's
no.
like, that's so valid, and I understand. Like, you can be wherever you want. I still love you, and you know, respect what you think.
Yeah.
But you don't have to have it all figured out today. Which I think sometimes, like, I need to know, and I need to be able to put it on my resume, like
Yeah.
what exactly I think.
I need to make a decision. I mean, it's either black or white. There's no in between. There's no gray area. I need to know now.
Exactly.
Where I think I don't want to be in the gray area, but I'm a gray area person.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
like
how
to my
I am.
core. Like,
I want to escape so bad.
I want to be the girl that's like, no, I'm all
Mhm.
this, but
Yeah.
I'm not.
I
And that's
know.
like with everything in my life. I feel
I feel that so deeply.
and it's like hard because you just want to like belong in this like category.
Yes, and just be able to say like
this is how I feel.
am like this.
Yeah.
And I just never. I'm so glad that you're like that, because I
No.
feel like I talk to a lot of people who are very one way or the other. It's just like, yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, I was telling Nick, I'm like, when people say I know something, I don't believe them. Like, I instantly am like, you have been discredited. If you say you know for sure something, anything, it's like,
How?
How could you know that for sure? Like,
How?
with
How?
all the information that we have these days, like, how could you know?
It's overwhelming.
You think maybe, you believe, but like,
Yeah.
you don't know, right?
No, you could Google is the world round or is it flat?
Yeah.
And you will have a million
Different
answers.
points, yeah.
And it's like, how do you know?
Yeah.
How does anybody know
It's
anything?
like, I think and I can move on after I
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, this is what I decide. I'm going to move on from there.
But it's just always in the gray area.
Yeah. So he's like, I mean, we don't go to church.
Yeah.
For everyone who's been asking.
You heard it
probably not.
first.
But also, if we do go to church, we're going to go to the Mormon church. Like,
Yeah.
if we do And obviously I'm not speaking for Nick because he has his own beliefs as well. He's not the same as me, but
yeah, you're two different people.
Yeah, if he wants to take Case to church, like, great. I'm happy for him to do that. Like, if I want to go with him, I want to go with him, like, on holidays or something. I'm trying to just have it more be like, how I want it to be in my mind, and balancing that with like how it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like the reality of it, the reality of like I have boundaries of like what I want Case to experience and not. Like there are certain things in the church I'm like, we're not gonna be doing that, but I'm fine. I don't think going to church is going to like be
brainwash you.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if he has like parents
a
who
home
have,
that teaches him
exactly.
core values.
And that's what I think. I'm like, I learned a lot from my parents, and I can't remember much of like what my leaders were saying.
Yeah.
And because my parents taught us a lot at home, which I loved. Like,
yeah.
So even if I don't agree with everything they say now, it's like I had a good understanding of just like being non-judgmental, loving everybody, service, the importance of things from my parents. So I'm like, I think if we try our best, like obviously you're going to mess up your kids somehow, but like
so scary.
We can only do what we know at this moment. So like we can only try and get better week by week. And like that's what, even me saying that, it's like maybe in 2 years we'll be the most active members, probably not, but
you never know.
You never know. Like I just don't like being like, this is what we're doing now. Like we do this, you know.
It's day by day.
Yeah, exactly.
It's day by day.
So
like Ty asked me on the podcast, he was like, "Are you gonna baptize your kids?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't know."
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yeah, and I also try to have like open mind, an open mind for my kids, where it's like that's when I really started questioning things when I had kids. I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, like.
Do I want to baptize them?
Do I want to do all these
things?
things? Yeah. And so at the time, it was like I was fine with not going to church myself. Didn't think twice about it. Blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, well, what? I like myself.
Yeah.
I like who I am. I like my mindset. And I have to attribute some of that to growing up how I did, whether it was the church, my parents, like whatever it is. And I'm not saying that's exactly how you have to be raised. Excuse me.
No, you're good. That reflex.
All the
reflex.
Things. I'm not saying that's the only way, but for me, it was very hard to like be like, okay, how was I raised? What did I like? What did I not like? This is the only way I was raised. This is the only way I know how.
So you know.
So what can I take and, pass that down that I liked, that I felt like attributed to, things that I like about myself. But also there are lots of things about like the church specifically that growing up, I feel like attributed to things I don't like about myself or like that I notice in other people that I'm like, I don't want my kids to have to go through that. So it's just a whole big old.
There's good and bad in everything, I think, too. Yeah. So, but I like that you and me have very similar thoughts on that, because it is hard to find people that are like, I don't know. Yeah. And I'm just okay just hanging out here.
Exactly. And it's like, I'm not necessarily, wow, I'm really spilling it all, but like, I have always been into like yoga and things like that. And like, again, spirituality, reading different books about like, even different religions. So it's like, I feel connected to a spirit, a
higher power.
Higher power. Don't know if it's like the God that I grew up knowing. Don't know if it's the Jesus I grew up knowing. Don't know about that. But will I ever know? Probably not. All I can do is like try to be connected to the spiritual feeling that I have felt throughout my life and that I want to be, connected to. I can call it different things. I don't have to call it the spirit. I can call it something else. But I want to be able to like continue being connected to that. And having it like be like my inner voice, like guide me to make good decisions.
Yeah.
And to trust myself and to like love purely and things like that. So I don't know. It's just, I feel like, where was I going with that? I don't remember.
I don't know, but I will add to it that I feel the same. And it's nice to have this spiritual feeling, this power, whatever you want to call it, to like lean on sometimes in hard times, or to just like feel like there is something or someone that is gonna help you. Yeah. Or just like be there. Mm-hmm. Like in all my hard times in life, like I always would pray, whether I believed in that moment that someone was listening. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Just to have it there. And I think that's where some people think people who are in religion are like delusional because they like think there's some big guy in the sky. And I'm like, I want to be delusional.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like sometimes feeling like I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And I have someone and it helps me. And so I'm going to keep doing it.
No, for sure. And that's how I feel. I'm like, that's what Nick always tells me. He's like, because sometimes I say, I'm like, well, now that I question, I can't go back.
Yeah.
I can't force myself to believe something that like, this is exactly how it is. And because this person on earth said this, like, I can't get behind that.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember where I was going with that. It's like, but if I'm not looking for another church though. That's the thing. It's like, sometimes I'll share this and be like, you should try this church. Yeah. And I'm like, does it have a logo?
Yeah, I don't.
Does it have like this? Like, I'm not really looking for
an organized religion.
Yes, exactly. My whole family, it's like part of my heritage, like Mormonism. And it's like, okay, I don't believe in a lot of the stuff, but if I'm going to go to a service with a bunch of people, I'm probably going to go where my family is. Like, I'm going to go where my family is, also listen to the people talk and take my kid and then leave. Like, I don't have to sit and be like, and this is the history and we need to learn all about this. And like, you know.
Yeah. You're going to then
just trying to figure that out. Exactly.
Yeah.
Where, again, I'm such a great person. It's very hard for me to like just cut things out completely, especially because like, and this is sometimes, I know we had other things to talk about.
No, hey, this can be a 7-hour episode.
Especially because so many people that I love relate and believe in it. So it's like, if I got rid of that, I could. And like, I totally understand that. Like, I could just totally cut it off and be completely done with it, which like, you know, sometimes teetering on that. But like, then I'm just like, but this is like what they love as well. And so I can listen and be open-minded. I don't have to cut it off completely and just be like, it's like if I talk about something silly I believe in, like even if other people think it's silly or like think I'm dumb for thinking that, like I would like you to listen to me and just like my thoughts about it.
Absolutely.
So I don't ever want to feel like I can't relate to like my family or certain people about it. And so that's honestly the hardest part, where it's like if I didn't have anybody who was Mormon, it's like, bye.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be part of your life.
Yeah.
But that open-mindedness of just listening to the people around you and respecting what they believe and feel.
Yeah.
Like crystals, I don't know, thing about crystals, I don't know what any of them mean. To me, I'm like, that's kind of weird. But if you know crystals, if you love crystals, you want to tell me how crystals work, I'm going to listen to that. And I might take something that you taught me and start using it into my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm going to go to a crystal camp and like buy crystals and know everything, but I think you can take things from all different people's perspectives and thoughts and use that to your advantage and kind of create your own idea of what you think is right.
I feel like it takes, especially like Mormonism being very like strict and very black and white.
Yeah.
I think it takes, at least for me, like because I felt like it was gray in my head the whole time, again, like I had to leave completely and just like be like, okay, what if none of this is true? Like, what if we do literally just nothing happens after this? Like none of it, nothing about, there's not an ounce that even like rings true at all. What would that be like? And that's like a scary place to go where you like, again, it's why you work it out with a therapist.
Yeah, no, it's dark.
Yeah. But it's necessary, I think, sometimes, because then it's like I can go and like those are the times where it can be triggering to hear about the church, or it can be like, oh wait, everything about this makes me mad, or like everything about this, and then to be able to come back to, like, I wanted to be able to come back to a place where it's like, okay, what if I was never Mormon and I could just look at it how non-Mormons think of Mormons? Like, I want to get to that place, you know? And so sometimes I feel like it's hard to, what I want is to not keep harping on my own, which is why I don't like to talk about it all the time, because it's like I just don't even want to harp on the past of like my past. I just want to live how I'm living now and dig through my past with my therapist and then not have to talk about it anymore and just
focus on having babies, being pregnant, moving on. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Let's move on.
We'll pivot.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. It keeps going back to it.
No, we'll pivot. You're pregnant.
Yeah.
You have a little boy. Is he 2?
Yeah, he's 2.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
And have these pregnancies been similar?
Yes and no. I was sick for both of them. Very sick. A little less sick with this one.
It's a boy, right?
Yeah. Their energies are a little different, I feel like, in the womb. Did you feel like that? Like you could sense like different, like, okay, their personality almost a little bit.
I never did.
Really?
I feel like I wasn't in tune with my body. I hate pregnancy.
Yeah.
So
same.
I just want to like tune it out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not pregnant.
Let's pretend. Yeah.
Like, I'm still going to go to the Taylor Swift Eras tour, like 8 months pregnant. I don't care. Like, nothing's changed in my life. I'm fine. I think if I was more in tune with my body and really like enjoyed the pregnancy and paid attention, I would notice that.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I go back and forth. Like, I feel like the first trimester is just hell.
Yes.
Like, I'm just so sick.
Yes.
I can't keep any food down. It's just like going through it. And then end of second trimester into my third trimester, when I start feeling them, I'm like the opposite. I'm like, okay, now I appreciate it. Like, I love, what my body's doing.
Yeah.
I love,
Let's style the bump.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, sometimes.
No, sometimes your style's
like,
amazing.
I'm so done. Like, I wear the same sweat set like every single day. I'm just like, if this is comfortable, it's comfortable. But I feel like I can sense a little bit of like their energy, like their personality a little bit in the womb. So I feel like this one's
what's the
vibe? A little different. He's gonna be a little. I don't want to put this on him, so that's why it's hard for me to like even say it. But
you feel it.
I feel as though he's a little bit more like fiery, like
a little spicy,
a little more. He's constantly. Case was never like kicking out of my stomach. Okay. This one's like, I'm like, are you
trying to get out?
Trying to get out this way? Yeah, like where his elbow will just be out for 3 minutes, and I'm just like, you're actually hurting me. Like, that's actually harming my stomach.
Yeah, like, please stop. You're like trying to push it back in.
No,
like,
literally, I always am like this. Like, if you notice when I'm doing the podcast, like I'm always like this because I'm literally holding him in.
You're like, be good.
Yeah, don't kick out, because sometimes it feels like it's gonna break through my skin.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's a little more like rebellious, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put that out there.
Maybe that'll come in handy though in labor, because he'll just be like pushing himself out of the womb. That would be
great.
Because you're doing unmedicated again.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
Do you do it at a hospital, or do you do it at home?
At a hospital.
At a hospital?
Yeah, it's like a birthing suite, so it's like half and half.
Bougie.
It's like midwives, but it's like attached to a hospital. Okay. So again, the gray area for me. I'm not like
same.
I know I could do a home birth if I wanted to, but there's just a little bit of like, I have too much anxiety for it.
All my kids were NICU babies, even though they were born full term. They all had to go to the NICU, because I like thought at one point, I was like, I could do a home birth.
Yeah,
because you see these people and it's this beautiful experience.
They don't yell. They're just like,
and they're like in the bathtub, and then it comes out and they're so happy, and then they get to go lay in their bed, and I love my bed and I love my blankie, and I just want to like be home. But I'm like, what if something happened and my baby's in the NICU and like now I have to rush in the ER, and now I'm in an ambulance, and I have a bloody vagina, and I'm in a diaper, and I'm uncomfortable, and might as well just be at the hospital.
Yeah.
But I'm jealous of the women that could experience that because that looks heavenly.
I know. I'm also just kind of like a mess person. Like, I know they clean up after you and stuff. Like, the midwives can come and like, like, I don't know if I want to get like blood on my sheets. Like, I don't like people wearing shoes like on my rugs. Like, I don't necessarily want my like
placenta hanging out.
Yeah, my water to break on my rug. Like,
Yeah. Has your water broken, or how have you gone into labor?
They had to break it last time. Okay. So.
Because maybe your water will break this time. It is the craziest, coolest thing. I got up off my couch.
Before you had any signs?
Before I had any signs. It was my first baby, and I was miserable. I was 37 weeks. I think I had
37?
preeclampsia. I think I had preeclampsia.
Oh, wow.
My ankles were that big. I was so swollen.
Wait,
I was
that's
miserable.
Crazy. Yeah.
I was on Instagram being like,
see, I'm holding, he's literally trying to kick out of me. It's like hurting me.
Or he's probably like, can you get this girl to shut up? I like hate her voice. No, I got up from my couch miserable. I was on Instagram being like, I hate being pregnant. I get up, water breaks all over my rug. All over my rug. So be careful with your rugs. But it was the coolest thing. And then my other two, I had to be induced because I couldn't go into labor.
Oh, so did they have to break your water when you get induced?
Yes. But even when my water broke, they had to put me on Pitocin because my body like doesn't have contractions.
Really?
I've never felt a contraction. I mean, I felt them once they gave me Pitocin.
I'm like, how?
But my water broke, and on the way to the hospital, my husband's like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "I literally don't feel anything."
Really?
And they like monitored me for like 3 hours. And they
were you like dilated?
No.
Really?
I was dilated to like a 2.
Interesting.
Which is like, you can be dilated at a 2
for weeks. Yeah.
Are you dilated right now at all? Have they started checking yet?
No. I don't like getting checked.
Oh, okay.
I just don't like doctors. I respect doctors. I trust them.
Modern medicine,
I do.
Thank
yes,
you.
I love
what
it.
You've done.
I don't do well, I should say, with medical stuff.
Gotcha.
Ever since I was little. Like I used to have like really bad bladder infections. This is like TMI, but
that's so
sad. I had to have like checks down there like just not fun stuff. Like, we might have to put a camera up you to like, I had to do like ultrasounds all the time, just at a young age.
Little.
Yeah, and it's just like I'd have like bad like UTIs, like kidney infections. I think it is like where you're bleeding and stuff. And so it's super painful. And I feel like that scarred me. So I'm just like,
that makes sense.
I would prefer not to see.
Yeah,
don't want to feel like anything when I'm in the mode when I'm in labor. I don't care. You can do whatever to me. Like, you can sew me up and not put a thing on, like I'm in the zone. But I feel like doctor's appointments before I go into labor and after I've had things as well where it's like, that was more like, oh gosh, like I'm so nervous. Like, that was more than birth itself.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, that's probably a little bit of like PTSD from it all. Like,
like don't check me. Pap smears are like, they're fine, but I'm just like,
I got my first pap smear ever.
Yeah.
Like literally 6 months ago. I've had 3 children.
Wait, really?
I've never had a pap smear.
They never ask you to do that?
They would ask me and I'd be like, no.
Oh, really?
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
They don't educate. They don't educate women's health or health
like,
in
can
general.
I swab up there? Nah.
I'm like, what does it do? They're like, we're checking for cancer. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, why isn't it called cancer check? It's called pap smear. What does that even mean?
True.
No, but I thought it was going to hurt. It didn't hurt.
No, it didn't hurt.
Everyone makes it sound like it is the most painful thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe I just have a really wide set vagina. I felt nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see how that would be a little uneasy for you to be checked after all of that.
Yeah. I feel like I'm confusing to people like what I like and what like medicine wise.
Yeah.
Like I'm unmedicated. Like I'm very woo woo about it. But then certain things like after birth, give me every medication you have. Like I will be on Motrin for weeks.
Yeah. But
like,
you breastfeed too, right?
Yeah.
And does that come naturally to you or was it work?
Did.
That's nice.
Well,
I mean, breastfeeding's work in general, but sometimes they latch and it just kind of works.
Yeah. He was like pretty big. So they said that helped because he was like strong jawed.
Yeah.
Big baby. So it was like easier for him to like
suck.
Yeah. But actually, funny story is right after I gave birth. Well, first of all, I don't know if this is like a common thing moms feel, but like after I gave birth, well, you were saying with like your first like unmedicated, not on purpose situation. I was on this high. It's like the most euphoric. Like, I literally cannot believe that I just did that.
You feel on top of the world.
You could hit me with a semi truck and I would be fine. Like, and
I can fly.
Yeah, I just kept looking at Nick and I'm like, that was crazy. Do you understand?
No, truly.
How crazy that just was.
Yeah.
Like, and now I'm just living my life. Like, and
I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
And now I'm alive and I feel amazing.
Yeah, and I feel great. It's like I swear I've never ran a marathon, but I swear it's like
I bet it's similar.
The drive of that is like what makes me want to do it again, where it's like I don't like necessarily feeling the pain of it.
Yeah.
I like the reward feeling.
The
of
endorphins.
Like, okay, that was so hard. I just went through something like a run. Like I love a runner's high.
Yeah.
I'm just like I love that kind of stuff. So
when you push that threshold and it's like
oh my gosh, I can't. When you think you can't do something and then you do it.
You just have to get through that and then it's euphoric.
Yes, it's euphoric. I was like on this high. I couldn't believe. And then I'm like holding my baby and everything's perfect. And the nurse is like, okay, now just feed him every 2 to 3 hours. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I thought I was just like done with this process.
Like you're leaving?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, for the rest of his life? From this point on, like, I can't go back. Like, I have to feed him. And if I don't, he'll die. Like, I have to feed him every 2 to 3 hours. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I just had this like crazy moment of like
this eye-opening. Like, wow, I'm a mom.
Wait, 2 to 3 hours. What about sleep? Like, what do you mean? I'm tired. Like, I want to
Isn't
take
it your
a 5-hour
turn?
nap.
I just gave birth.
Yeah.
Do you see what I just did?
Why am I here? Like, why am I here in this hospital?
Like, where's my massage?
Yeah.
I'm tired.
No. I tried to breastfeed him and there was like a nurse there and she was like, oh, she just like looked at my nipples and she just goes, I don't know if it's going to work for you. You have like flat nipples. And I was like,
excuse me? Nick's never had a problem.
Yeah. I'm like, just turn the AC up. Like, give
just
me a
lick
sec.
him a little.
Yeah. Literally. She was like, I'll go get you some nipple shields, but we might just have to like put them on the bottle. And I was like, oh, that's devastating. Like, I really wanted to breastfeed. Like, you're just telling me so nonchalantly an hour after I just gave birth.
This is California, right?
And I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm very sad about that, but like, whatever. And so then a new nurse like came in and like an hour later or something. And I had like been trying and I was like, maybe he is, maybe he's not. And I was like, well, the nurse just told me like I have too flat of nipples. And she was like, what? And so she like went and literally got like was this like a syringe almost?
Yeah.
Literally was like pumped him up for like 2 seconds, pinched him and was like, there you go. And I was like, perfect. And then he just latched and I was like, oh.
That's
I almost
crazy
just like gave up just from one nurse just being like, probably not.
Not going to work for you.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you could have just literally turned the air conditioning on and I would have been good in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, nipple shields, did you ever try to use a nipple shield?
No, that's what she was going to give me.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
They're the worst. They told me I had to use a nipple shield. And then I took a breastfeeding class for my second and learned that I didn't need to do that. And it just takes time.
Yeah.
But it is a learning curve for a lot of people. But I never was able to do it for a long time. How long did you breastfeed?
I did a year with him.
That's incredible.
But it was like exclusively probably for like 6 months. I hate pumping.
Oh, it's
pumping
a chore.
Is horrible.
Horrible.
I just can never like get that much either. So it just like would take a long time for like a very little payoff.
Very little.
And then I started around like 8 or 9 months. We started supplementing with formula. And then after a year, it was just nice. So
did you ever get like mastitis?
I did like once when I went on tour. Like I got a little behind on pumping and it was just like, oh, I got this big old knot in my, I actually don't think I got mastitis.
But
I think
you got a clogged duct.
Yeah. And it was very painful.
Okay. That's badass though that you're on tour and you're like freaking pumping. Like women are incredible.
Yeah. I just come home and I'm just like,
women are amazing. You're just sitting there with your pumps and your feathered blue bedazzled outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, just killed it out on stage. Now I'm pumping like a cow.
Now I'm pumping this milk out.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. I want to talk about your clothes though, because you're like a fashionista.
Oh, thank you.
Your looks, your style. You're so like effortlessly cool.
Thank you.
Have you always been effortlessly cool, or do you feel like you finally got your style?
Takes a lot of effort. Like I'm glad you think it's effortless. Like
it looks very effortless.
It's something I think about all the time.
Oh,
but not out of because I want to.
Yeah.
I like it. I've always liked like getting dressed. My mom. I was probably like the worst nightmare of a mother, like as a daughter, because like from the moment I could speak, I didn't let her dress me. Like I was just like, no, do not do my hair in that updo. Like I want my hair down. I want to wear these. Yeah.
No, she's going to school with a uniform next year because I'm not handling it anymore.
Really? She just wants to wear her own thing.
I'm like, no, you can't. You can't anymore.
It's amazing though. It's like not fun. Like I would personally be like, oh, you don't trust my style? Like what? You're not letting me dress you?
My daughter looks insane in public.
Yeah.
Because she wears...
In a good way?
No. Like, we're talking like in the dead of winter. She's wearing cowgirl boots and a mini skirt with a Frozen t-shirt.
That was me.
And I'm not allowed to brush her hair because it hurts.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
My mom used to like pull my entire head back to slick it back in a ponytail.
Yeah.
She will not let me. So she has like a rat's nest. So she'll like slide a headband.
Style. Maybe she's grunge.
Or a crown. She's my sassy little princess. So I was like, we're putting her in a school with a uniform because then she has to wear clothes.
What's her zodiac sign?
She's a Capricorn.
Oh,
and I'm a Capricorn. So she's January 2nd and I'm January 3rd.
Oh, really?
So we are literally the same person. I mean, I don't want to put that out there. I want her to be her own person and like discover herself. So I need to stop saying that.
Yeah.
But from what I'm seeing,
they're the same.
She's going to be a run for the money for sure.
Love that. That's great. I feel like it's like.
You need that. We need those kind of women.
Yeah, not necessarily fun when you're the mom. You're like, wait, you're supposed to be my little doll. But like also I do understand you're your own person. I love the independence of it. I remember my mom was saying when I was little, I was like sitting in church. Like I just walked into the middle aisle. I was like 3 or something. And I just like sat at the front and my mom was like, get back here. Like trying to motion me to come back. And I just kept being like, no, I'm just going to stay here. And then she said like afterwards, some guy came up to her and was like, I love to see girls like that, just like doing their own thing and having. She's like, okay, that changed my perspective. She's like, at first I was like, this girl's being so stubborn.
Yeah,
but I think that's great quality.
Strong, independent woman.
Yeah, you want that. You want them to have a little pushback.
Yeah, no, I will never have to worry about someone bullying her or like her feeling insecure because she's got that confidence. I love that. She knows. But really though, like, what's been the progression of your style? Because you were boho, you did the boho for your wedding, and now it's like this chic minimalist, but like you got swag.
Oh,
like
what
would you say your style is?
I don't know. I feel like when Chelsey. I try to hone in on a style, it makes it worse.
Yeah,
I feel like when I just like dress myself how I want to. Ever since I was little, I kind of did the same thing. Like I would wear like a skirt over capris or something like that. I'd be like, yeah, this is what all the cool kids are wearing. By the way. I do feel like because I like it so much and I'm so drawn to it, I'm always thinking about it. If I want to do something for fun, it's like creating outfits or like putting together, clothes.
No, I love
or
your
something.
TikToks when you style people.
It's so fun. It takes so effing long.
Oh, I bet.
Just the screenshots. If I didn't have to like show people, that I could just like kind of go through, but it takes a long time, but it's really fun for me.
No, you're good at it.
Thank you. I love it. But yeah, I don't really have like a name for it. I just feel like it's whatever. It's more about like the silhouette than anything else. I feel like if I'm putting on an outfit with like a pair of shoes and the shoes just are like too small or too big, that's usually what I go by. It's not like, okay, what kind of aesthetic does this fall into? It's more, how is this making the shape look?
Yeah, how do you look in it?
Not necessarily my body shape,
Right.
but like the shape of the outfit.
Yeah.
Like it has to have some draw, some interest, some like structure to it.
What's your favorite thing to buy? Clothing-wise? Shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Shoes.
I love shoes. I feel like shoes make the biggest difference.
No, they do.
Like if you don't have the right shoes, who cares if you have all the right clothes? Because the shoes will make or break an outfit.
I'm taking that to heart now.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to like really focus on my shoes.
You have to, yeah.
Because I'm I will wear my UGG slippers everywhere.
Yeah. Well, same.
Like,
especially when I'm pregnant.
I need, when I'm in that era of my life, I hate saying era, but like I'm in that point in my life where I'm just throwing on whatever I have at the moment. And then I see people like you that are just like so cool. And I'm like,
see, I feel like I do that though. So
I want to wear clothes. Like I want to dress like a normal person and not look homeless everywhere I go with slippers, an unbuttoned shirt with like poop and spit up on it. Like I want to look cool when I go pick up my kids from school, but I don't. But shoes is what I should focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Get good pairs of shoes.
I mean, I don't think you have to have a ton of different shoes.
Just staples.
Just staples that you feel comfortable in. I don't know.
I love.
It's hard to explain, honestly. I feel like it's just something that if you love it, like you're going to spend time on it. But if you don't love it, like there are plenty of areas of my life where it's just I don't spend enough mental time with it.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
Well, I think it's incredible that you continue that style and vibe when you're pregnant. Because I feel like I
you
go through.
You think because I don't feel like I get dressed when I'm pregnant.
Because I go through like, I was a fashionista growing up.
Yeah.
And then I got married and I let myself go.
Yeah.
And I lost that part of myself. And I feel like I'm almost 9 months postpartum. I feel like I'm starting to finally be like, oh, I like going and getting clothes now. Like that's fun.
I do think that it's easier to do that. Like I think you have to work against it to keep like your sense of style and like self, because I will even feel that way sometimes with like makeup or hair or something where I'm just like, oh, it's been months since I've done like anything new with my makeup, since I've tried to like put a little effort in like my hair or anything like that. So I do feel like it is actually the default to just stop like caring about what you wear, stop caring about your hair, and making me have to like fight against it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, and it is cost money. So,
and you've had long hair, you've had short hair.
Mm-hmm.
Does your hair grow really fast?
No, I have like my hair is my worst feature.
Really?
Yeah, I have the thinnest. Not like it's never. I've always had extensions. If I have long hair, it's like extensions. Same. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm also like balding. Like my postpartum. I literally have no hair.
That's why I cut my hair, because I'm like, we just need to like start over. Yeah. Like my regrowth.
Clean slate.
And then it's just easier. Makes my hair look thicker than it is when it's short. Thank you. And extensions are just kind of annoying. Like
annoying, expensive.
Yeah.
They take a lot of time.
It's hard to do updos. It's just like updos? A lot.
No, it's a low pony for
but
me.
when you like do your hair and you have extensions,
chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Good blowout.
Beautiful.
Except for this humidity for me, it's doing things to me. I'm like, I don't know what's happening to my hair right now, but we're going with it.
Yeah, you have to get used to it.
I want to talk to you about the podcast, what we said.
Yeah.
When did you guys start that?
We started it almost 6 years ago.
Okay.
So 2000, gosh, I forgot, 18?
Whose idea was it?
So ours separately. It was Jason's idea to do it together.
Gotcha.
I feel like I started listening to podcasts before anyone else. Like
You started it.
Yeah, I started the trend of listening to podcasts.
What was your podcast that you listened to?
Serial. Remember?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel like anybody who got started listening to podcasts, it was always like crime or like a murder case or something like that.
It was the first season of Serial. I started listening in 2016.
Yep. Craziest story, by the way.
Yes, so crazy, so good. So like,
have
honestly,
they
haven't had
have
anything
they made
like
a
that
documentary
since.
Of that yet?
I'm sure, but
what
nothing
was,
will beat
what
the
was
actual.
His name? The guy that they thought did it, but he didn't do it, but he was in jail.
Saeed?
Something. It was like a.
It starts with A, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I definitely listened to it. So
I tried to get everyone to listen to it. And then from there, I was like, oh, podcast, cool. So I started
Yeah.
listening to like, the other podcast I listened to was, oh my gosh, Casey Neistat's with his wife, like forever ago.
Like dark.
Yeah.
Like let's be scared of getting married and having his freak as a husband.
So dark. Oh my gosh, now that you mentioned that, like I remember listening and be like, they're very vulnerable. Like they're being very vulnerable. Like also, are they together or not?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No, really
they
though.
don't seem to like each other.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Did you ever listen to that one?
Yeah.
That is like a memory that's just been unlocked for me. I started listening. I was like, there's no podcast. Like, well, he's making a podcast with his wife. Like, this is so interesting.
Yeah.
So I was like, because I saw that, I was like, oh, Nick, we should start a podcast. And he's very private. Like, he does not.
What does he do for work?
For that. So he's just a stay-at-home dad, right?
Oh, nice.
Not just.
That's a full-time job.
Yeah.
We love him for that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
He worked like summer sales.
Okay.
And then he had like his own branch and stuff like that. And then pretty much right when we started the podcast, it was kind of like a make or break moment where we're like, okay, we're either going to move to LA and like really put all of our,
time and energy
and money into this. And like he was providing for me while I was like flying out. We weren't making any money.
Yeah.
And because I was flying out to see JC, like we never did it over Zoom. We just like always would batch like 4 episodes. Like I'd fly out to LA and we'd batch like 8 episodes or something and then come back like 2 months later.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
And so I was kind of like, I kind of heard you talking about this on Tyson's episode too. Like I would always be like, babe, one day like you won't have to work anymore and like this could be it. Which is like at the time we're like a podcast, like
what?
Really? Like that's gonna make
because that was before what it is now.
Yeah, exactly. It was like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So but he always believed, like he was always like, I will pay for like your flights, like I will pay for this, even if it seems like to other people maybe silly to like put money into like anything with social media. Yeah. It's like, okay. But yeah, then we moved out to LA and things just started going well for us. Like the podcast started growing so much and then we started making good money and then he didn't have to work anymore. So
that's so nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm like so grateful for that because that was like something when we were first married. I was just like, I just wish you didn't have to work. Like I would just love like if I could just make enough money and you didn't have to stress about working because he loves working. Like he's a very much like entrepreneur, loves all that stuff. So, but then when we had Case, he is just the best dad, so he stays home and
you want him to be around.
Yeah, and he wants to be around too. Like he kind of goes back and forth now. It's weird because I feel like we have like the reverse roles where he will be like, I want to work and like I want to do something for myself, but at the same time like I can't bear the thought of like someone else like
watching
just like hiring someone else to watch him all day and like us just being gone. I'm like, I know, I feel the same way, trust me. Like luckily I don't have to like be out of the house. I'm home a lot, but so it's interesting, but it's really nice. It's like the dream.
That is the dream.
Just like grateful.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thank you.
But you wanted to do it with Nick at first.
Yeah, I want to do it. Sorry, back to your question.
No. I went off on the tangent because I asked what Nick did for work.
Wait, what was the question?
Whose
idea?
Whose idea was it? She wanted to do one with you.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, I listen to podcasts. I should do it with Nick.
Yes. And then she was like, oh, we should do a podcast together. Like she texted me like one day out of the blue after we had like hung out. And she was like, we should do a podcast together. We're both like funny. We have all this like history together and we can make it like this inspirational but like entertaining thing where we can, chat about different things. And I was like, I'm so down. Like, that sounds so fun. People in high school would always tell us, like, you two should start, like, a talk show or, like, do something together because we were, like, the annoying ones together.
How long have you guys been friends?
Since sophomore year.
Okay.
Yeah, freshman year.
Okay.
So we were just, like, the class clowns together where it's, like, oh, if you're not, like, me or her, if you're around us, it's probably annoying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If you don't like us, it's because you're annoyed.
You probably hate us. Yeah, when we're together. But. So, yeah, then I started flying. I lived in Utah, and she lived in California, so I started flying out.
And now it is what it is.
Yeah, now it's the dream.
Is it hard podcasting with a friend? Has there ever been moments where you're like, oh, this is bad for our friendship? Because I don't know how you do it. I think even the best of friends, I mean, there'd be moments where you're like, or do you just not have that?
I feel like it's not okay. So we get asked this all the time.
I'm sure.
And so we always give like the
generic answer.
Yeah, the generic answer.
We love
of,
each other.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, of course. Like it is easy because and I really feel maybe this is a bad like answer, but like you just both have to be normal. Like if you're both just like normal people, it's not a big deal. Like even little things if we disagree on, it's like we're both normal and not gonna have a falling out about it. So
you're not gonna escalate and make
exactly.
it a huge
it's never
thing.
like a huge deal.
Like a falling out.
Yeah, where it's
like
if I want to do this merch design and she wants to do this one, it's like, okay, well, maybe let's just try this one. Like it's never a big deal.
That's good.
Yeah. So that's the best answer I got. I don't know like what else necessarily like the secret sauce is. I also think it does help when you have a lot of history.
Absolutely.
Because it's not just like we can just.
Well, you were friends before you worked together. And like it was a good friendship that started in high school. It wasn't like a newer friendship.
Yes. I always feel like when I see two girls start a podcast who are not friends before and they just decide. I worry for them. Yeah, I'm like, if the podcast is the only thing holding you together, it might not be sustainable.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
No, I see that.
But if they're friends or know each other before and then they do the podcast, it is a little bit more of a motivating factor to like keep it going.
Absolutely.
And if they're both obviously serious about it.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work. Because before you weren't signed to Dear Media.
It's a dedication. Yeah, it's like a real job. So
yeah,
you both have to be willing to, you know.
When did you feel like you guys started growing a ton and you were like, oh, this is like, we're the shit.
Yeah.
Like we can go on tour and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
probably after I moved to LA.
Because you both had followings before.
Not so much. Not
so much?
No.
Okay.
Like more than the average because I was doing music. So I had like 3,000 maybe, but like not compared to like JC and Tyson. No.
Okay.
Like all of our listeners came from JC.
Gotcha.
Maybe like 2 came from me.
Hey. Those 2,
maybe 3.
Those 2 are solid. They bought merch.
Yeah, exactly. They came to the show.
For sure.
They know Jade Demir. They've been following since then. That was my Instagram name.
They know.
But I'm sorry, my pregnancy brain is so bad.
No, you're fine.
What were we starting
What
with?
was I saying? I was saying how
when
you grow. Like when did you feel like it started happening?
So after I moved to LA, it definitely helped because then we lived by each other so we could talk more. We got to hang out more. So I feel like our dynamic was better anyways. But also that was during COVID. So I moved to LA like 2 months before COVID happened.
The worst time to live in LA or New York or
worst
city.
or best because everyone said that, but I never experienced LA traffic. I never experienced
that's
like
true.
And my job wasn't like where I had to go out a bunch. It was just like, okay, basically me, JC, and our husbands were all quarantining together. Pretty much. So
okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, it was actually not bad. Things weren't crowded. I mean, it was crazy. Like just everything was crazy there, but uncertain times. But it wasn't as bad as maybe other places were or other people who lived in LA experienced it.
Gotcha.
So that was probably also, I think a lot of people started listening to podcasts more during that time. That's when podcasting kind of blew up. And so we had kind of, it was where luck and opportunity met. Like we had,
and
or
work,
preparation. Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
All of that met up at the perfect time. So it was like we had already been putting in like 2 years. We were getting good at it. We had been like slowly building an audience. And then that's just kind of when it like took off, which was great timing for us because we had just moved to LA for it, like for the podcast. And yeah, it was great.
When did you sign to Dear Media?
Really early, like 2018 maybe.
Okay.
So we had been with Dear Media after, I think like 6 months after we started the podcast.
That's amazing.
We signed with them, yeah.
And do you feel like being a podcaster, like, are you like, this was so what I was meant to do?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, does it just feel so right?
It does. And I feel like even when we were touring, like it was something that that just felt so natural and like so fun. Like I would never be nervous to like go out on stage. Like our first show, I was just like, I remember JC was like, we need like a guest or something. I was like, JC, we've been doing this in our own, like we can do this on the stage, just us. Like me and you can go out and do this. It'll be so fun. We do this all the time. It's just now there's people watching. But I felt like my whole life I'd loved performing, like did dance, I did theater, I did, singing. And I was always way more nervous doing those things because I was just like, I'm not like the best singer. I'm not like the best dancer. I was like, this is just me being me. Like, all I have to do is go out there and talk and joke and just literally be myself. And like, this is so fun.
And people love it.
Yeah. And I get to talk. And like, even when I would do shows when I was singing, like my favorite part was the banter in between songs. Like I would make jokes. Like I would like say things, like talk to the crowd. And I'm like, that is my favorite thing. So I just get to do that now. I don't have to be nervous about hitting the right note. I don't have to be nervous about like falling over. Like, this is the best.
No, it's I love watching you guys live my dream. Like, it's so fun.
No, it is fun.
Seeing you guys on tour, like, was that like pinch me, like seeing all these people in real life? Because you see the numbers, the podcast downloads and whatever, but to actually see people in real life that truly are just like the biggest fans, like Valley girls through and through, like, is that so pinch me?
It is. It's weird. Like our first show that we did right before COVID hit, like, was probably I think like 70 or 80 people. Yeah. And that was insane. Like we were like, oh my gosh, some people flew out and we just had this moment of just like, what the freak? Because we could never put faces to the, like you said, like the numbers. And then when we went on actual tour, it was so mind blowing. Like we would just go home like to our hotel afterward and be like, what is our life? Like
just grinning
we are
ear to ear.
Literally living in a dream. Like this is so crazy that people want to meet us, that people are paying money to like come see us talk and joke. Like we joke in our room. Like this is so crazy. So it was
crazy.
It is still crazy to me. Like it's very easy to disassociate, honestly.
Has it been hard to like stay true to yourself ever? Like
I'm not that big.
No, but you are. Like people lost their minds when I said that you were coming. Oh my gosh, everyone's like, "Are you nervous? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Guys, shut up! You're making me nervous." Like, no. I wasn't nervous because like you, like I don't get nervous. I'm like, I love talking to people. Like this is what I love to do. So I really don't get nervous.
Have you ever done a live show?
No, I've done like parties where like I meet people.
Oh yeah. That's
but
fun.
I've never done a live show.
Oh my gosh, you need to.
I feel like it'd be weird because it's just me.
You could have like a friend or
like
a guest
it would
on.
like for you and
no,
JC.
I would never do it by myself.
I feel like I'd be doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah, no, I would never do it by myself.
I'm just me, a microphone and a stool and a water bottle.
That's
like,
doing stand-up.
Hi guys, welcome to the Comedy Cellar.
Like no, you could have a friend though, or like
I could
a favorite guest
do some
or
guests.
something. Yeah.
Well, me and Ty were joking. We're like, should we go on tour together?
100%.
Like we have the same audience, so why not?
100%.
But no, I would have a hard time with the growth and not like getting in my head too much.
Yeah, I feel like because it's, I don't know. I don't ever feel like famous or anything close to that. No, never.
Well, I guess you live in LA, so you probably don't get recognized a ton because there's so many celebrities.
Yeah.
But when you go to Arizona or Utah, do people stop you?
Like people definitely recognize me, but and like come up, which is really nice. Like, you know, and say like, I love your podcast. I'm listening to your podcast.
No, like I have an orgasm when people do that to me. I'm like, I'm sorry, you know who I am?
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
But it also is, maybe it's just comparison to like what other people, in LA and here. And my friends are all like huge content creators or YouTubers or podcasters. So I'm always just like, I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be included. I don't feel like I don't even know, like, maybe this sounds bad or like self-deprecating, but it's really not meant to sound like that. But it's like, I didn't do much to get here. Like I was best friends. Like I'm a NEPO baby, kind of like, but without being their child.
Yeah,
like,
their friend.
Yeah, I've just been. I just picked great.
You're
friends.
a NEPO bestie.
Yeah, I happen to be like the best thing I ever did for myself was choose good friends. Like, so I feel like I never have this like I did all of this. Like everyone loves me because I'm just like I was blessed to have JC, who became a huge content creator and Instagrammer, and people know her. She's viral like all the time.
She's Kendall Jenner wants to be her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so then she was like, I literally tell her all the time, I'm like, well, probably not enough, but I'm always like, you gave me this life. Like you are the reason that I lived this beautiful life that I live. So thank you so much. But also when like, I know I attribute to the podcast, obviously. Like I'm never like, I could leave and no one would notice, but I'm never, do you know what I mean? I'm never like, this all happened because I'm the greatest thing to grace this earth. I'm just like, this is great.
But on the flip side, does that ever bug you or make you feel insecure that you're not like the one that
like brought
everyone in?
Yeah. Not really.
No?
Not until like not on my own accord.
Yeah.
Maybe if other people said it to me, like maybe said like they noticed, maybe I would be like, "Oh, that's rude of you to say," like, and notice.
Yeah.
But not really.
Well,
honestly.
that's good. Because you guys work good together. Like, I'm glad that you acknowledge, like, yeah, JC had this following, but like, what we said is what we said because of your dynamic together.
And I think that's what it is that keeps me like confident, but also it's like impossible for me to be like, I'm the shit. Like, I did all of this because I know like what we said is what we said because of our dynamic.
Yeah.
But it's not just because of me, and it's not just because of her. It's because of our dynamic. And so we both bring like things to the table.
Yeah.
So
you guys are perfect together.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it.
What's your sign?
I'm an Aries.
An Aries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our because she's a Capricorn.
Yeah.
Are Capricorn and Aries compatible?
It always says like if they get along, they will like dominate the world.
Okay.
But they can be competitive.
Gotcha.
But most of the time it's like if this duo comes together and they're both healthy, like healthy mindset.
Game over.
Then they're both very like determined signs. So
well, you're taking over the world.
Yeah.
So okay, what's been the last question I'll ask you and then we'll take out trash. What's been the best experience other than tour or like thing you've got to experience from this career as a podcaster?
I mean, everything. Literally everything. There's really the worst thing that this job comes with is like hate comments.
Yeah.
And it's like when I look at that from an outside perspective, I'm like, that's it. That's the payoff.
That's
like
all?
just people saying mean things to me like over the internet, like not even in real life.
Yeah.
Like it's scary to me, like how easy and nice it is. Like this was just my life because of the podcast. Because it's like tedious, I guess, like some of this stuff, but every other thing about it is so fun. Like
so fun.
I work with my best friend, so we come record the podcast, chit chat, catch up with each other. Yeah, make content together. Get to come up with designs for merch. Oh, boo hoo! Like get creative.
Yeah.
Come up with tour. Go on a trip with my best friend. Stay in a hotel. Order Taco Bell at midnight. So hard. Like it's just all so nice that it's terrifying to me. Like it's truly, and that's how I make like all my money. So I'm like, this is terrifying. Like this is too good to be true. It's very easy for me to dissociate. So
like,
tour was great. But also just like the daily life of it, I feel like is so fun.
Well, I love that you're so grateful and like you're so humble.
I'm not like boasting. I feel like I'm boasting about it, but I'm just it is what it is.
You're so humble. Like truly, like
really, thank you.
Like the fact that you're like, I'm so grateful, and you like can read a room and understand like what a privilege it is that this is your job and how amazing it is. Like that's impressive because I feel like the bigger people get, they're kind of like, well, yeah, I deserved it.
Yeah,
like. I'm the shit. Like, this is incredible. I love it. So what?
Yeah.
You know? And you're like, no, this is insane that this is what I get to do.
Yeah.
And this is how I get to like provide for my family by doing something I love.
Yeah.
Like I hope you never change because I love
Same.
that.
I hope
I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like when you're freaking in $1 billion home, I hope you.
Wow. I would love to be in $1 billion. That might do something to my head.
Well, here in LA, is there $1 billion home you think in LA? I think like the most expensive is like what, 200 million?
Probably.
If anybody ever builds $1 billion home.
No, that's crazy.
Like what would be in it?
That's like a whole state.
Like how? I don't know. It would be crazy.
From what I've seen from Selling Sunset.
Okay, is Selling Sunset real though?
Probably not.
Okay, let's talk about trash. Let's take out our trash. Personal trash. Personal trash is brought to you by Dressed in Lala. Lala is a fashion brand that empowers you to wear whatever the F you want. I'm obsessed with the brand. If you know, you know. It literally has the funnest pieces. I am wearing it right now, and I've currently been wearing it every single day I've been on this trip. The colors, the patterns, the fits are so different and cool and so unique. If you're looking to add some magic to your wardrobe, you need to check them out. Use code WEEKLYTRASH for 10% off your order at dressedinlala.com. Kind of brings into Selling Sunset because like reality TV or anything. Do you watch any of that?
That's all I watch.
Okay, cool.
If I watch TV, it's reality trash.
So that's my fave.
Yeah.
I love trash, personal trash. We watched Bachelor last night.
Yeah.
Are you caught up on Bachelor?
Yes.
Okay, what are your thoughts?
So many. First of all, I Do you ever see spoilers?
Yeah, we got fed some spoilers.
Why? I hate reality Steve. Like
ours wasn't reality Steve. It was like some TikToker
but they
that
talk
did some
about,
like digging.
Oh, really?
They like caught some pictures of somebody at somebody's house with somebody.
Well, if the spoilers are true,
which who knows?
Yeah. I like Maria a lot. Love her.
Love Maria.
Want her to be the Bachelorette because
same.
She has. It would be a fun season to watch.
It would be kind of like Caitlin Bristow.
Yes.
Why can't I say her last name?
Bristow.
Caitlin Bristow.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of like that energy.
Mm-hmm.
But she has something else.
She's fun.
She has like a flair to her. So she's not exactly like Caitlin, but that same kind of energy.
Yes. And I do love Daisy. Like everyone
she's too
loves
nice
her.
for me.
But I don't want her to be the Bachelorette.
No, so
like if she doesn't win.
I'd fall asleep.
And also her saying like, I'm just not there yet. I'm like, maybe you guys aren't meant to be.
I don't think they're compatible at all.
Yeah, because there's no like fire between it. Like
no sexual tension.
Yeah.
It's like two best friends hanging out.
Yeah. I don't
almost
feel like
brother
she
and
has
sister.
like a passion for him.
Yeah.
And I love him.
Oh my gosh.
I love him. That man, he deserves a degree in psychology because he has been taking on these girls.
Was he coached?
No, I don't know.
Like, who walked him through this? He's like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Don't apologize to me. I'm so glad
it
you
doesn't scare
expressed
me.
that.
What you're saying doesn't scare me. It's like, oh my gosh, how do you know?
Can you
say
write
that?
a book?
Yeah.
He's so good at it.
And he's so calm.
So calm.
And just like confident. I love it.
And he's hot.
And he plays tennis.
He's a babe.
Love a tennis player. He's great.
No, he's
and
great.
I feel like I did not know he was going to pick Rachel.
Oh.
I'm like, wait, have you guys spoken? Like, has she gone on a one-on-one?
I was shook at the rose ceremony. I was like,
I
he's
thought
going to give it to Jen. He's going to give it to Jen.
That's who I thought too.
Like, Jen is saying she's falling in love with him. He's going to.
She's so cute.
She is stunning.
Yeah.
Her smile.
Yeah.
I'm blind.
I wonder if her giving him that kiss was just like too much.
Maybe. But I thought Maria was going home.
I know, same. I was like,
which
no.
I was so thrown off because I'm like, no. She has to be the Bachelorette. Mm-hmm. She can't go home now. She has to go home.
And
at the final
he
two.
wants that girl in fantasy suites.
He wants to fuck her.
He wants her in fantasy suites.
There's
no way she's going home before that.
Tension. Like when he was all sad.
Yes.
It's because he's like, dang.
Yeah. Like, can you just wait 2 weeks?
Like, we need to have that moment in the hot
I don't
tub
think
with
they're
no
gonna
cameras.
end up together.
No, I want them to, but she needs to be Bachelorette.
Yeah, she needs to be.
She's way too good for Paradise.
Oh yeah, she
way
needs
too
to be
good.
Bachelorette for sure.
Like not only is she like a catch, like she's beautiful, she's smart,
spunky.
She's spunky, but she's also good reality TV.
Yeah, she is.
Like she would give them the content that they want.
She's like drama without being crazy,
without being annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Which have you heard like all of the juice and drama about her past?
No.
Like apparently she had sex with someone in One Direction. Like she was a hardcore groupie
really
for bands, and she comes from a lot of money, which is funny.
Really,
like I know all the juice on Maria. I did like a full dive. I went down a TikTok hole of all Maria.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad is like in the music producing industry or something.
Okay, her dad is an enigma to me. I'm like, what do you do?
Like,
Who
what's
are
happening?
you?
Yeah,
him like in the preview, like staring at them kissing.
She's loaded. So it would be really funny to me in the episodes where she'd be like, "Oh, I've never been in like no one's ever picked me up in a limo." I'm going in a helicopter. I'm like,
really?
Your dad's a millionaire. Like, what are you talking
about? Is he really?
Yes.
Oh.
And she would travel to like stalk or follow these bands like One Direction.
Oh.
And this one girl was on TikTok and was like, she didn't say Maria's name for legal reasons.
Yeah.
But she was like, it's not that hard to figure out. She lives in Canada. I would go with her everywhere. She has dark hair, like yada yada. And she was one of the One Direction groupies with Maria, and Maria had sex with someone in One Direction. And I'm like,
which one?
It has to be Harry. Like
that would be.
Did Maria have sex with Harry Styles?
We need to know.
Like I have to know. And apparently she's just always been this beautiful and like sexy and promiscuous and just like spunky and fun.
I love her.
I love her.
I want to watch her more on TV. That's the
I do
thing.
too.
That's why she needs to be Bachelorette. Like she can't get married to Joey and just disappear.
No. And I love because like she seems like the type of person that wouldn't be ready for marriage, but she also wants to have marriage.
And I think she really does really like him. Like I think they really do like each other, but I can see it being like, I don't know, just not the right.
Could be a little bit of lust.
Yeah.
A little bit of lust.
For sure. From his end, for sure.
He's
like upset. He's like, we have this physical and emotional chemistry.
Yes. But like she's that person where like how could you not have fun with her on a date?
She's so fun. She's so easygoing.
Like, I'm delusional and I think I am Maria. Like, I'm like, if I went on The Bachelor, I would be Maria.
100. That is why everyone loves her, because they're like, that is who I either would be or want to be. Like, I strive to be like that. And that's why everyone was saying, like, I think all the girls are having a
lesbian
crisis.
Love moment for
They're
her.
like, no, I don't know if I hate you or I want to be you or I want to be with you.
Yeah. No, there was a TikTok that I saw that it was this woman and she was like, I am witnessing in real time straight women becoming lesbians.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
I'm like, it's true. Like, everyone's obsessed.
And I may be biased because I'm brunette and maybe you feel this way too, but like,
brunettes have more fun.
When they were all like, all the brunettes were hanging together, it's like, if you know all the girls with brown hair are like
vibing.
Yeah. And then the two blondes are like not. It's like,
read a room.
Yeah, I think they have more credibility to me than you, Sydney.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, nothing against blondes, but
oh my gosh,
there's just something when you're a brunette, like with the dark hair, you're just like, I believe you.
Yeah. No, it's true.
I trust you.
Also, growing up in Utah, I don't know how it was in Arizona, but like brunettes didn't get any attention.
Yeah.
It was blondes, blue-eyed.
Yeah.
I was a mutt.
Yeah.
It was like, who's that ugly brunette over there? And I'm like, I'm freaking hot, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
and then you get older and you realize how... No, it's true. When I was in 6th grade, all I wanted was to dye my hair blonde.
Same. I
was like,
did dye my
Mom.
hair blonde at one point.
Really?
And I was so ugly.
Same. Every time I go blonde, I'm like, why did I do this?
Like, embrace the natural dark. Well, and you have like light eyes too. So you're like the perfect mix because you have dark hair and light eyes. I have poop eyes.
No,
like,
I love
want
the brown
light.
eyes.
I want light, pretty blue eyes. I bought blue colored contacts after I graduated high school because I wanted to be Megan Fox.
I do understand the draw of that, but I also believe the older I get, the more I turn to like just
embracing your natural.
What my mom says and what my dad says to me, like, you know, you're meant to have what you have.
Yeah, you're born beautiful.
Yeah, whatever eyes you had is the right eyes for you.
I know. I didn't need to be Megan Fox. Speaking of Megan Fox, though, do you watch Love Is Blind?
Yes, I do.
I'm not caught up with Love
I'm not
Is Blind.
the ones, the new ones. No,
I'm only at where they're in. Is it Dominican Republic? They're
really?
Like, I'm behind.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm behind.
You need to catch up.
But this is like the best season yet.
It's so
casting is
so
good.
bad.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Like, it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Everything is going bad.
When will they ever cast good men or women? Honestly,
it's honestly really not fair because you really don't know what you're getting when you go on that show. You could leave with a solid 4.
Yes,
and you're a 10.
And
like, personality and looks, you're a 10.
If you're on that show, like, the person you're talking to probably isn't a Megan Fox lookalike. If you're on that show.
No.
You're going on there because this person doesn't want to be perceived by their looks. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, it's because they don't want to be perceived by their looks that maybe they feel is holding them back.
Or they're insecure about.
Not often is it like, I'm so hot, people never see past my looks. I want to go on Love Is Blind.
Yeah, like, no. Except for, is it Jessica?
She was like the first one.
She was the first one where it's like, you're like an Instagram model.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing on the show?
You're going to choke.
Yeah. You're gonna choke
when you see what you missed out on. You're gonna need your EpiPen.
Yeah.
But it's like true. Yeah. Like, she's stunning.
Yeah.
And I've heard around the corner, like, she's going on some other reality shows. So stay tuned.
I heard she dated Harry Jowsey.
Okay. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, is that, I'm like, I don't know if I should spill the beans. Am I gonna get like sent a defamation? Yeah. Well, because they did a show together.
They did?
I don't know.
Oh, that's why they're filming. That's why there's pictures of.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect match, maybe? That's just a guess.
You said
allegedly.
it, not me. Yeah. That's what I've heard. Pictures. That's what I've heard.
Interesting.
So we'll be seeing her soon.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing her again. She's good reality TV.
Yeah, she's great.
She's good with her words. Yeah. She knows what she wants.
She's sassy. I love a sassy girl on reality TV.
They're meant for it. Yeah. They know what they want. They say what they mean.
Yeah.
And they go for it.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I love it. Couldn't be me, honestly. I feel like if I was on those shows, I'd be like...
Could you ever do reality TV?
I don't think so.
Yeah. No?
Maybe. Depends what it is.
I'm like, I feel like all podcasters could do it.
I could do like a game show or like a Survivor type thing. I don't think like
Survivor.
Oh yeah, I would. That is my lifelong dream to go on Survivor. Like, I would love
I don't even
nothing
go
more.
on hikes.
Because you know what? I love to like pretend I'm someone I'm not. That's why I couldn't. I don't think I could do like a love show because it's too vulnerable for me. Like,
yeah, not your thing.
I don't want people to see me flirt. I don't want people to see me kiss.
Kiss?
No, like
on television.
As someone I'm having a first kiss with, definitely.
We don't
not.
know how they vibe. We don't know if my
No.
lip goes on top or on bottom.
No, but I could do like Survivor or something like Big Brother or something like that, where it's like I can be a character the whole time.
Okay.
You know?
Could you do what's that show where they have people do the military stuff? I always forget the name.
Oh, Special Forces.
Special Forces.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I could do that, but I would try.
Would you try?
Yeah.
Oh, I immediately would. I'd go the first day just so I could get TV time.
Yeah. yeah.
And then they would be like, "Okay, you're gonna jump out of an airplane." I'd be like, "Bye. I don't want to do this anymore." What do they say? I surrender.
Like, yeah, I surrender. Something
surrender.
like that. I'm done.
Here's my number.
Yeah, I retired.
I'm done. Thank you for this time on television.
I feel like
Give me a good edit.
I would be pretty good at trying things, but I wouldn't be good at executing them.
Can you hold your breath?
Pass. Yeah.
The holding breath one where they go underwater and they have to like unbuckle themselves. I'm like sweating watching.
See, I was a lifeguard all growing up and taught swim lessons and took lots of like things like that where you'd have to like go get a brick from the bottom of the pool. So I'm like very comfortable in like water, which is why I feel I have extra confidence for like Survivor and things like that. Because there's always water aspects. We have to swim where you have to like dive off of something huge. And I have experience with that. So I feel like maybe not now after I've had 2 children. Like it's been a minute, but.
Oh, I'm a scaredy cat. I could never.
Really?
No, I would like hold my breath. I would like time myself while I was watching them to see if I could do it.
But then maybe you'd make it far because that's the thing.
Because I'm practicing.
You have to like, for Survivor, if anyone's listening that wants to go on Survivor, you have to like, this is my strategy. Okay. I'm giving this away.
Okay.
You have to play into, because Survivor is basically a petri dish of the real world. And it's like, it represents society. That's why it's such a good show. It represents society at that time.
How many seasons are there? Like 120?
Like 50 or something like that. And you have to, this is like kind of scary to say, honestly, it's like not very authentic, but I feel to win, you would have to really play into
how scared you are?
No, how people would perceive you, and you don't want to like make people feel uneasy.
Gotcha.
Therefore, you can't really be like 100% authentic. You have to be decently what's the word? Like not maniacal, like decently deceptive. Yeah, strategic.
Okay.
For sure. Like the girls who I feel make it far, who sometimes win, they use being a young girl and like what people would perceive them to be as a strength.
Oh, yes.
So they don't try to be the boss. They don't try to be like the leader and like boss people around. Those girls get voted out so quickly.
No, it's true.
So you have to be smarter and play into what people think that you are. So you have to be like, okay, they're going to think I'm just some girl and I'm just going to play into that. I'm just going to be like, yeah, okay, I'll go with whatever you guys are voting.
I don't know how to start a fire.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I'll help out. I'll do this and this. Yeah. Not saying you have to be fake or like.
But just play into it a little.
But just play into it a little bit because then people are like, oh yeah, that's comfortable for me. You're not threatening to me.
Yeah.
If you want to win.
And then,
if you want to be authentic, you'll get voted out.
Yeah.
As certain people. If you're a guy and you're too like.
Macho.
Yeah. People vote you out because they're like, I don't like your energy. You seem very threatening to me.
Yep. I'm going to stitch this when you go on Survivor and you win.
And after I win.
Be like.
And then no one will trust me. Like, that's the thing is you have to, like, I feel like people at the end would just be like, when I'm explaining why the game I played, I'm like, yeah, I did well in challenges, but I wasn't trying to boss people around. I wasn't trying to tell people what to do. I wasn't trying to threaten people's intelligence.
Yeah.
Because people don't like that, and I'm trying to stay in the tribe.
Trying to be a favorite.
Yeah. That's just how it is. So I would be like, this is the game I played.
This is how I won. What do they win again? Is it $1 million?
Mm-hmm. It's actually a pretty big chunk of money for like game shows.
Yeah, there's like no other game shows that give that
much. Game shows will be like, you will win $10,000. No. I'm like, what? They're like, what are you going to do with the money?
Like Too Hot to Handle?
Pay off their monthly car payment? Like, that's it.
Too Hot to Handle. It's like, you get to split $100,000 between 30 of you.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I get $2,000.
After taxes.
Yeah, after taxes, I'll have $700.
No, it's ridiculous.
And I took a month off of work.
It's ridiculous. It's not good.
No,
it's
even
not
like
worth
baking shows. Like, these people work their whole lives. Like, you guys are going to win $50,000 and there's like 3 people on the team. I'm like, huh?
But I will say it's the exposure. Like a lot of the times they're like,
I'm gonna
be famous
big deal of the money.
No, it's like you're gonna win.
Yeah, they ask them about the money all the time. Like, what are you gonna do? Is this gonna change your life? They're like, I'm gonna pay the electrical bills and my business that I already have.
Really though, it's not even going to pay off my mortgage
kids.
or anything.
Yeah,
it's nothing.
No, it's ridiculous.
The only show that I feel like ever was a decent amount of money if you won, like, and you did good, was Deal or No Deal.
Yes,
Deal or No Deal was crack cocaine to watch.
So good. You know they have new ones now.
Do they
it's
really?
Like Deal or No Deal Island
With Howie Mandel?
No.
Oh, see,
but it's
he
the
made
same
it fun.
thing.
The
It's
same
like
thing. I will never get over that Meghan Markle was a Deal or No Deal girl.
Look at her now.
Look at her. She's a prince. Well, she's not a princess. She left the title.
Yeah.
She's
something.
She's something. A duchess.
She's married to a prince.
Something.
Yeah.
Okay. What other trash from this week do you need to take out? Do you have anything crazy that happened this week?
My life is very mundane at this point. I'm like in nesting
mode. Well, yeah, you're having a baby
doctor's
soon.
appointments, chiropractor appointments. My baby was breech until like 2 seconds ago, so I was very stressed about that. But he's head down.
Did they turn him, or did you?
No,
do anything?
I was like one appointment away from that. He was getting really down to the wire.
And I heard that hurts.
Yeah, my mom had that done with my youngest brother, and she was like, it was not comfortable.
Yeah, I heard.
And you can
painful.
go into labor sometimes when they do, and they do it like 36, 37 weeks. So
do people know how far along you are, or because you didn't share a due date?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, no.
But not to be like super secretive. But last time I was like, hey everyone, December 13th, mark your calendars. That's the day I'm having my baby. Just so you guys know, reminding people every week.
Yeah.
And then I was so overdue that it was stressing me out to have like people on baby watch. Again, my own fault.
Yeah. You live and you learn.
This time I'm like, I don't know when it's going to happen. I just don't want the pressure of like people knowing or asking. Like,
is baby here?
Did he come yet? Did he come yet? That's really the only reason. So.
What's your name vibes? Do you have one picked?
We have a couple. This is what we did last time. Like I'm, again, back to the gray thing. Like I can't be like, this is the name and that's what it's going to be. Like I have to wait until the moment.
For sure. You got to hold them.
And so we have like 2 or 3 that we're going back on. And me and my husband like both have our favorites.
Yeah.
I don't know. Were you like predominantly naming your children? Or were you guys like very collaborative? We were
back and forth. We were back and forth. Honestly, I chose the first, he chose the second, and then the third. We were like, well, we've already done 2 B's names, so this third one has to be B, and this is the only B name that we like.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened. We have Bentley, Brooks, and Banks.
Cute.
And I fucked that up because now I say Brooks, Banks, Brooks, Bentley, but like, I don't know why I did that to myself.
Yeah.
But I did.
See, me, I feel like my husband cares more than I'd like him to about the names, where I'm just like, wait, stop caring. Like, just let me do this. Take a step back. But he has good names. He actually I can't remember if I came up with Case or not, but that was something we both really liked. And so I was like, okay. This time we have like different tastes. And so he has one that he really likes. I have one that I really like. And we will both try to like convince the other one. Like I'll be like, I'll throw him like, if we do this one, we could have like one of your family names as the middle name. Like, how does this sound? Like, and he'll do the same thing with me. Like, he'll be like, this would sound really cool. And then like, we could put like your grandpa's name in the middle. Like, trying to like have.
Persuade.
Yeah. Like, okay, well, I'll give you a little bit if you give me this name. So I like both of the names.
Okay.
I just like one a little bit more. So we'll see.
Is it same vibes as Case?
No.
Different vibes.
I don't know what vibes Case is really. You know, it's hard to perceive myself, but I don't know if anyone would guess them.
Yeah.
But then again, sometimes all the names on my list, I'll see like something pop up on my For You page and it's like, if this is your vibe, here's some boy names.
Yes.
And like my whole list is on there. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so predictable. Like that is scary. So I'll like cross them off my list.
No, I look at my baby names. None of these names were ever names that I thought I would name my kids, except for Bentley. Bentley was the only one that I liked because I watched The Bachelor, and Bentley from Utah was on The Bachelor.
Oh, really?
It was a boy,
Yeah.
but I was like, if I have a girl or a boy, I love the name Bentley.
Yeah.
The other 2 came out of left field. I don't know.
I know. It's weird.
Brooks is Brooks because my husband's obsessed with golf and loves the golfer Brooks, and he was like, there you go. And I was like, cool. And then Banks, it came out of my butt. I don't even know where that one came out of. But now they're my kids.
It's weird when you get pregnant, like every name you thought just goes out the window. I have some names that are like, I'll say this, that I will probably not use, that I feel like I can't use because of where I live, like in Southern California, where it's like I'm like, if we lived in like New York or
it's edgy,
Europe,
you could get away
like
with it.
It would be cool because it's not. But like because we live in Southern California, like we can't be naming our kid this, you know?
Yeah, it's like doesn't fit the area.
Yeah, it fits it too much. Where it's like
you're too predictable.
Yeah, like too predictable.
Like what is it?
like, oh no, I can see exactly who that kid will be, and he seems like a menace kind of thing, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of an example that's not the name.
You're like, I
To
hope
give it away
nobody
yet,
has this
just
name.
in case. But I'm trying to think like Ocean or something like that.
The fact that I was going to say Ocean, like
Yeah.
I knew, like our minds were
That's
in the
not
same
the one I
spot.
was thinking of, but that's
like
the
Ocean
example.
was the example I was thinking,
like
but
you-
I didn't want to say it, and then you'd be like, "That's my kid's name."
Yeah.
Like,
No,
oh.
100%. I love
Ocean,
the name.
Ocean and Indy, like that kind of vibe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if we lived somewhere else, it could work. But
Yeah.
because we live in Southern California, like if you're like a surfer kid named this,
No,
you scare me.
It's too much.
Yeah, you scare me.
It's too much.
So
Okay,
that's
well,
my thought process.
are you ready for Trash Topic Can?
Yeah.
You're gonna pick. Trash Topic Can is brought to you by Road to Baby. Did you know that 1 in 8 people in the U.S. alone struggle with infertility and have difficulties growing their family? The team at Road to Baby understand the pain and frustration that can come with infertility, and they are there to help you navigate that often bumpy road to parenthood. Road to Baby is a surrogacy, egg, and sperm donation agency based out of San Diego, California, who connects those in need with surrogates, egg donors, and sperm donors to help them grow their family. Road to Baby believes in fairly compensating those who make these dreams of parenthood come true. First-time surrogates working with Road to Baby receive a minimum of $56,000 for their incredible dedication. Egg donors are generously compensated at $10,000 per donation, and sperm donors each earn $5,000 for their first donation. If you've ever considered becoming a surrogate, egg donor, or sperm donor yourself, I encourage you to reach out to Road to Baby. You have the power to change lives and make parenthood dreams come true. And wait, there's more. If egg, surrogacy, or sperm donation isn't for you, but you know someone who might be a perfect fit, you can earn $1,000 in referrals for egg and sperm donors and $6,000 or more per surrogate referral. If you or someone you know is struggling with infertility, remember that you are not alone. The experts at Road to Baby are there to help you navigate this often challenging path to parenthood. Their experience and guidance can make all the difference in your journey. Road to Baby exists to help growing families and creating a life-lasting connection and making dreams a reality. If you're ready to take that first step or just curious to learn more about the process, schedule a free consultation with Road to Baby. Visit www.roadtobaby.com. ROADTOBABY.com. A topic
Cute.
out of my little trash can.
Can't wait. So cute.
It's a little
this
tiny
is one.
thing.
Okay.
Topic, question, whatever it is.
One thing you wish you could do over.
Oh,
Is this like a, did you write these?
she wrote them.
Oh,
They're
love.
like,
I was like,
they're like,
acting surprised. You're like, oh,
like,
what a great
don't know.
question.
That's a really good one. No, we have like trashers submit like random questions and then
love.
she writes them down. So I don't know what we're gonna pick.
Love.
It could be like, when was the last time you had sex?
Okay, wow.
So last time I had sex. Let's see, how big is this baby?
Yeah. One thing I could do over, like to experience it again, or
Yeah.
that I regret.
Make it however you want
Okay.
it.
Something I would do over. I don't know. I don't like. This sounds so
Everything is meant for a
cheesy.
reason.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
If I had to do it again, I would do it differently. But a lot of things in my life, I just
It's meant to be that
yeah,
way.
it's like my first thing, like, oh, my wedding. Like that would
Yeah.
be kind of fun to do again. But
Same.
I wouldn't go back in time and like I'm not like dying to change it. Like
Yeah.
I'm like I loved it for what it was.
Like
at
we'll
the
just renew
time.
our vows or something.
Yeah.
And like do it a different way this
yeah,
time.
exactly. But for the time, I left my wedding day and was
Yeah.
like, that was the best day of my life. Like that was so much fun. I did everything the way I wanted to do in the moment. So that's
Well, let's
that.
do over because you had such a good time. You want to like
Okay.
relive that moment.
I think I would do over my wedding. I think I would like live my wedding
Relive
day.
it?
And obviously, like I would relive the birth, but like
yes, that's
that
like,
also is like kind of just like nice to have once.
yeah, just experience it that
I
one
would
time.
maybe if I could cut off like right after he came out and relive that.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want to relive like transition and like
Yeah.
the ring of fire.
That pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
But like the second he gets on my
yeah.
chest,
just like
that
the
full day.
the him coming out,
Mhm.
going on your chest, that moment.
yeah, that full day at
For
the hospital,
sure.
just like staring at them, you're just like, oh my gosh, like that is the
That's
best
mine.
day.
Yeah, I made
But my
you.
wedding was just all fun. Like
That's so
it
nice.
was just you're just like obsessed with each other, and everyone's obsessed with you. You get all this attention.
Oh,
Everyone's
see-
like saying good, nice things about you all day, We just had a party, ate good food, danced.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I can't relate. My wedding day sucked.
Really?
I hated my wedding day.
Wait, why?
But I bitch about it all the time on here, so they're
Oh.
probably like, shut up, we
Oh,
gotta.
okay.
No, everything went wrong.
Dang.
Everything
I
went
hate
wrong.
that.
It rained. Someone stepped on my veil, put a big hole in my veil.
Oh,
It was like a cathedral veil.
Oh, that's handy.
Our the person who was in charge of music and stuff effed up. So there's no.
Oh,
We were literally
no.
holding a microphone to an iPhone for like first dance.
Stop.
No, it was not good. It was not good.
Oh.
So if I had to do over something because I hated it, it would be my wedding.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be because I want to relive it.
Oh.
If I wanted to relive something, it would probably be, oh my goodness, the first time I ever had sushi.
Really?
Because that was like a moment.
Yeah.
Like I fell in love with the
What
food.
was it?
It was a spicy, crunchy California roll from Wasabi and
Ooh,
Draper.
Okay.
And I had never had sushi before. And it was the start of a very bad addiction.
Really?
Very expensive addiction that I could not afford at 16 years old.
At 16?
At 16, that was my first time.
Did you?
I lost my virginity at 16. Sushi.
Did you eat sushi while you were pregnant?
Yes.
You did?
I'm like, people in Asia do it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, wow.
they're fine. Their babies are smarter than ours.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but then all my babies were NICU babies. So I don't know. Maybe it was
We're
my
like, don't listen
sushi.
to the advice.
Maybe it was my sushi.
I feel like it depends where you get it.
Yeah. Oh, I would never like have grocery store sushi when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And I usually only had like sushi that was like tempura shrimp or crab.
Yeah.
It
Tempura.
wasn't like I was having like full on raw tuna.
Yeah.
Sometimes there'd be like a little bit, but not,
Yeah.
but not really.
Not crazy.
But I also had like deli meat.
Yeah.
Which now I guess there's a huge outbreak of
I've seen
whatever's
that.
on the deli meat that's bad when you're pregnant.
There's so many things. I was vegan my first time I was pregnant.
Really? Like the whole, just your pregnancy or just in general? You were
I
vegan?
was vegan for like 7 years.
Oh my gosh.
And so it overlapped with my pregnancy. I like stopped being vegan like a year or two ago.
Why'd you stop?
Just because it was not the vibe anymore.
You're like, I want to eat
I just
cheese.
feel like it changed. Like I felt like, honestly, it kind of happened at the same time as my faith transition. I was just like, I don't want to be so black and white about things. Like, and it was just like, I had a kid at that point and I was just like kind of second guessing, like, do I want him to be vegan? Like,
yeah.
if I don't want him, like, what do I want for myself? Like, what's healthier, you know? And I feel like veganism has just changed over the years.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Yeah.
But I was vegan, so I didn't know all the rules. I didn't have to worry about any of the rules.
You're like, I'm not eating anything.
Not eating sushi, not eating deli meat, not eating cheese, not eating anything.
I'm eating bananas, peanut butter,
literally,
and apples.
And avocados.
And
so this time I've been like, oh, you can't have soft cheese. You can't have deli meat. You can't have sushi. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many things I didn't know.
But you can have Cheetos. You can have Diet Coke. You can have all the things that have red 40 that are so bad for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm confused.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy.
But like my kids live
like
off
essential
Chick-fil-A,
oils.
So, it doesn't, the world is so confusing. It makes no sense to me.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, no. But that's what I would relive as my first sushi moment for sure.
Nice.
Well, Chelsey, thanks so much for taking
Thanks
out trash
for having
with
me. Sorry I talked your ear off.
No, this is so normal.
Oh, it is?
I've had
Okay, good.
episodes that are 2.5 hours long.
Okay.
And I'm like,
That's
do
good.
I
It
edit
makes me
this?
feel better.
No, because people love it.
Yeah.
They're like, the longer the better. And I'm like, really? Okay.
I know.
I mean, I only do 2 episodes a week, which is still kind of a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, 2 episodes a week.
Yeah.
But then there's like the toast where they do one every single day.
Yeah.
And it's like they have so much content. So my long episodes, I'm like, that's me doing one every single day, is giving you one long episode that you can split up into 30-minute increments.
Love that.
For the rest of the day.
Well, they'll have plenty of stuff.
Plenty. Well, thank you for coming. It means
for
so
having
much.
me.
I'm fangirling. I'm obsessed with what we said. I'm obsessed with you.
Thank
I told you
you.
when I stalked you for your promo, I was like, this girl.
Oh my gosh, that made me
perfect.
feel so. That honestly, that might have sent me over the edge with my ego. I was like, that edit of me.
Like, I'm
oh
cool.
my gosh.
No,
How did you get these pictures? They're gorgy.
Full on stalked. Full on stalked. If anyone's a stalker here, me.
Yeah.
But seriously, thank you so much. The Trashers love you. I love you. And I hope everyone else enjoys this episode, you guys.
Same.
Love you. Bye. Oh, wait. Don't forget to take out your trash. Bye.
Bye.